Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. And another ranking video. Tonight, I will be counting down the top 10 greatest vampire films of all time. Now, this list will not include Dracula 1931 from Todd Browning, starring Bela Lugosi, or F.W. Murnau's silent classic Nosferatu. I have seen other lists for vampire films that include these, some of them quite high. But to me, I think these other movies on my list are much more technically advanced and have much better performances than those older movies. So don't expect those on this list. Coming in at number 10 is Near Dark, released in 1987. Near Dark is directed by Catherine Bigelow and stars the likes of Adrian Pasdar, Bill Paxton, and Lance Henriksen. Now, this film is not like any normal vampire film. Yes, they have an affliction for daylight, and they have a hunger for blood. But these vampires don't have the traditional fangs that we know of these later vampire films on this list. Coming in at number 9, we have From Dusk Till Dawn, from 1996, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Now, this one stars George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, and Quentin Tarantino. Now, this one is lower on this list just because of the fact that it doesn't have the vampire elements until like the last 30 minutes of the film. But when those moments come, Robert Rodriguez excels at these great moments. Hence the reason why it makes my list. Coming in at number 8, we have The Horror of Dracula, from 1958, directed by Terence Fisher. Now, this one stars Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and was the start of one of the greatest vampire series of all time, considering Dracula being a part of it. Coming in at number 7, we have Interview with the Vampire, from 1994, directed by Neil Jordan. Now, this one stars Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and includes a star-making role for Kristen Dunst. Coming in at number 6, we have The Lost Boys, released in 1987, directed by Joel Schumacher. This film stars Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patric, Corey Haim, and Corey Feldman. And as the lead villainous vampire, which disappointed several people for this film, Edward Herrmann. Coming in at number 5, we have John Carpenter's Vampires, released in 1998, directed by John Carpenter. This film stars James Woods as a vampire hunter facing off against a great threat of the vampire Valak, played by the always great Thomas Ian Griffith. Coming in at number 4, we have Salem's Lot, released in 1979, directed by Tobe Hooper, based on a story by Stephen King. This one starred Starsky and Hutch's David Soul as he comes into a town, only to find out that it is infested with vampires, which he must fight. Coming in at number 3, we have Dracula, Prince of Darkness, from 1966, directed by Terence Fisher. This one sees Christopher Lee reprising his role as Count Dracula and giving an excellent performance without even speaking one line of dialogue. He is joined in the cast with Barbara Shelley, Suzan Farmer, and Andrew Keir replaces Peter Cushing as the hero against the vampire. So Peter Cushing is not really missed, as Andrew Keir is more than up for the challenge. Coming in at number 2, we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, released in 1992 and is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman as Count Dracula and Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. This one details the Vlad the Impaler backstory for Dracula that wasn't in the Bram Stoker's original novel, although Vlad Tepes was an inspiration for Bram Stoker writing the original novel. And coming in at number 1, we have Fright Night, released in 1985, directed by Tom Holland. Fright Night starred William Ragsdale and Roddy McDowell, as well as one of the greatest vampire portrayals of all time from Chris Sarandon as Jerry Dandridge. So in my opinion, this is the best vampire film ever made. So that is my list of the top 10 greatest vampire films of all time. Do you agree with my rankings? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed tonight's ranking, and I hope you will join us tomorrow for our final ranking.